All right. And now we have one of my absolutely favorite people, Jay McHugh. Hi, Jay.
Hey, Michelle, how are you?
I'm great. So let me tell people a little bit about you, and then I'm going to let you have the floor. So I met Jay in 2013. We were on a bus, a charter bus per se. We're dressed up black tie, and we're going to a VIP event to celebrate some of our accomplishments with the company. And that was a really cool night, good, cool way to get to meet him. And I didn't know everything about him. What I've learned about him since is impressive. So he is a broker owner of his own real estate firm. It's called LAER Realty Partners. And I like how he says it better. You'll hear his accent in just a minute. He's been in real estate 25 years and a broker owner 10 of those 25 years. And you can correct me if I misquote any of this. He has done $1 billion, just surpassed $1 billion in business for the last 12 months in sales. That's such a huge deal. And he's got 402 realtors, 22 offices, and he focuses on the realtors that are entrepreneurs. So he gives them, he grows them, he enhances them, he helps them be successful. And it's about 80 to 90% residential or 10 to 20% commercial, depending on, of course, the flow of the market. So Jay, I'd love you to tell people your real estate story, how you found Send Out Cards, now how you're using it and what impact it's made in your life. So I'm going to mute my line so that they can hear you clearly. And if you need me, I'll come back on.
Very good.
All right. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Michelle. Greatly appreciate that. That was real kind. And of course, it's not all about me. There's business partners that I work with, obviously my wife and her business partner. And it's a collection of a big mindset of appreciating. And when one appreciates, they're more apt to have that reciprocity come back to them. So oftentimes in our real estate business, we're running around chasing new leads, etc. And we're forgetting about the people that we may have already done business with. As an example for broker owners who are on this call, many times you're chasing new recruits, but you're forgetting about the great people who are doing business with you currently. And that's my specialty, is to remind folks here with you and around the country, as well as our own mindset, is that if we're not taking care of the current agents here in our office, we're really risking that our competitors are going to recruit them out of our office. We all know that it's more expensive to gain a new customer or an agent than it is to retain a customer or retain an agent. So what do? We have to go to work, and we have to understand, whether it's self-development through all the great trainers that I've participated with over the last 8 years, we have to implement. We had that opportunity to see Kathy Island at a VIP event, and it resonated so much when she said to me, Jay, at the end of the day, imagination without implementation is truly hallucination. And it stuck with me for whatever I do now in my own business, because you and I share some great ideas, but guess what? If I don't implement it, it's truly just hallucination. Anybody listening to this call, if you don't implement Michelle's, Billy's, Jim's, Gail's information, you're just hallucinating that you may get their results. So you got to go to work. So my story is an excellent story. Like most people, in 2005, I just bought my building, $3 million. I'm sitting there worried about the economy. You could see the recession coming, and someone sent me a great card. Beautiful card. It really intimidated me. It was a picture of her whole family. Lake Winnipesaukee was in the background. And it said, Jay, sometimes it's important to stop and smell the roses. If you'd like to learn how to send a card like this, please give me a call. Well, I was intimidated. And I did what most people did. I threw it out. Well, shame on that person for not following up with me. But that's okay. It's just part of the business. So about 2 years later, I got another card from somebody just out of the general business saying, Jay, I see you marketing like a magnificent pro. Would you like to learn how to send a card like this? Give me a call. And I said, wow, this is the second time that I've gotten this type of invite. But once again, I was intimidated. The recession was truly in right now, 2007, 2008. And we were struggling. So threw it out. Then around 2008, that third apple hit me in the head pretty hard. And I kept hearing about send-out cards. And I belong to a high-end referral network of realtors that share great ideas and very generous in sharing ideas. And I said, well, this is the third time that people have brought up this thing called send-out cards. So I went to work. I signed up and I pushed all my chips in like anybody would. And like most things, and you stop using it and you stop getting excited about it, and the people who signed you up don't return a phone call, you're only kind of using it in a capacity of a customer. But I went to work. I continued to find people who would want to help me and share with me. And I followed up all the way up to 3-4 different levels. And I'm going to compliment Autumn Anderson, who really helped me out at that beginning stage. And then during that time, I also found the love of my life, my wife, and she was also in the real estate business. And then right around that time, we had a child, and her name is Ocean Catherine McHugh. And guess what I was doing? I was being a product of the product. I was sharing the joy of my daughter being born, and I was sending cards from San Diego to Ireland, and I was getting such great response. And people were wondering, how did you put a picture of Ocean into the card? Well, that light went off, and I just said, wow, this is amazing. Now, it's really interesting that my father was at Polaroid, and he used to never miss a soccer game. He called himself an executive. It was nothing more than someone who was buying pens and paper and toilet paper, etc. But he never missed a soccer game. My mother was a homemaker, and she was a great homemaker, never missed a birthday, unbelievable penmanship. And essentially, they both passed away early, and she did work for American Greeting Cards. Actually, it was called Rustcraft Greeting Cards, the biggest greeting card company in the world at the time. They filed bankruptcy. And I recall her getting all kinds of great greeting cards as gifts just because they were getting rid of all the stores and they were getting rid of the warehouse. And it's pretty amazing that they both passed. And today, Jay is a consummate level 4 card sender with the ability to see what Dad at Polaroid, to see the ability of what my mother with her handwriting and never missing a birthday, and then to see the results that we are having, my partners, Andy Armada and my wife, Stacy Alcorn, and 402 other agents that soak in this great information. That here's something I love to say to people, and I've learned it over the last year. People count, numbers don't. It's an amazing statement. Once you sense this and once it happens to you, realize it. Another toot of the horn, John Matukas, will be probably at one of our events. He referred me a piece of business. He could have referred it to any realtor here in Massachusetts coming from LA. He referred it to me. Not only did I send him a 25% referral fee, I sent him a big box of brownies and a card saying thank you. Because John Matukas referred me the piece of business, not 67321. See, people count, numbers don't. Now, John can share that opportunity to anybody else anytime he has a referral, but he most likely will share that opportunity with me because he knows that if I've taken care of him this way, I will take care of his referral client that way. So essentially, we go to work and we just continue to share this. And as we grow the business, we have agents starting to see success leaves clues. What are you doing to grow your business? They become interested. I sit down, I share them. I do my presentations. I do my classes. And people start to realize, yes, there's lots of technology out there. There's unbelievable lead generation. At the end of the day, I'm very good at being able to explain some of the misnomers in our business. For instance, there are companies, I'll be careful what I say. They'll say that there's 30 million people looking for a home here in the United States. Well, frankly, there's only 5 million sales last year. So people are buying into the methodology that there's 30 million people. They could say there's 300 million people looking for a home, but they're not looking for a home actively right now. So what you want to do, I'm in one of my friend's houses right now. I didn't want to miss this beautiful interview. I Wi-Fi'd up. I asked them for a space to do this. And I love my friends Terry and Mary because they are people. And so if we take care of people, rather than trying to chase new suspects, turn them into customers, hope they become clients, and then work for them to become screaming, raving fans, why don't we just start with the clients? Why don't we start with the 200 people that would come to your wake, that would come to your funeral, or more importantly, that would come to your wedding? If we start to take care of that capacity in a systematic and appreciative way, they then become our screaming, raving fans. So as I'm sitting in this living room, I'm looking at my friends Terry and Mary, who always consistently refer me business in this local West Roxbury neighborhood of Boston. Now, if I did not take care of them, or if I did not stay in touch with them, and I move away and I have my daughter and I get married to my wife, Stacy, they would say, well, Jay might not be interested in our referrals, but I am. And I greatly appreciate that. So I'm taking care of the people that have taken care of me. And that is what most people in the real estate business forget to do. They want to chase the new pieces of business. They want to chase the new opportunities. And frankly, they're just giving up on the people that have helped them build their business up to whatever level they might be at currently. So essentially, as the broker owner or manager, it's instilling these great ideas that people count, numbers don't. Sure, we need lead generation, etc. But there's a lot of people who fail, that they do all the work and they don't get the results that they're looking for. A lot of it is self-development. I wrote a great blog on my LinkedIn platform this year, and it reminded me of something to share that this past year, one of my outdoor spigots, we had a horrible winter here in the New England area, one of the outdoor spigots broke, and so I was too lazy to fix it, but I realized that I can't send the water and just generally water the garden. I had to specifically water just the plants. And what it dawned on me is that I had fewer weeds than ever before because I wasn't not watering the weeds. I was watering just the plants. I was putting all the energy and effort directly to the plant. And so it's such an epiphany. It's such an analogy. It's such a metaphor that if we take care of just watering the plants, then the weeds can't come in and choke us. And too often we're not watering the plants, we're watering the weeds, and it's choking the plants. So essentially, our story here at Lair Realty Partners is to be recognizing that people count, our agents count, our vendor partnerships do count. We do great things in the community, the local community, the Habitat for Humanity, etc. And we're sending out a message to the community of real estate agents that if you do want to work in a capacity where you can have an entrepreneurial business with the great technology and the support behind you, well, that's why you want to come here at Lair Realty Partners. And of course, it's very easy to share that with people who might be 2 years in the business or 15 years of the business or 30 years of the business, because it's a better way of doing business. So that's essentially my, general.
Yeah, that's great. And what you said is very applicable, not just to realtors, but other professionals in the room. It's the same thing, no matter what your profession is, right?
I would agree.
Yeah, you and I have had many conversations around this, but I find that many people, I work with a lot of realtors, have so many ideas, and it's like they're so busy, they're running themselves crazy with ideas, and so that implementation thing is huge. So would you talk a little bit more about, people who aren't maybe using their Send Out Cards account, and maybe give them some suggestions on what kind of campaigns, or when would they send cards so then maybe they'll start using it?
Sure, excellent question. One of the things that's pretty fascinating, and I'm a technology buff, social butterfly buff, social platform buff. There's this thing called Facebook. Okay, so Facebook gives us an opportunity to check people's birthdays every single day. How many people kind of just take it for granted? Well, what I do when I teach is that I'll certainly send you off a birthday wish, Michelle. I'll usually attach a picture to you, which is Jay, Stacy, and Ocean. And then if you were not in my Send Out Card account for whatever reason, because I didn't have your updated birthday, I will go in and send a belated birthday card with the box of brownies. You're important to me. Now get this, I get reminded from Send Out Cards roughly 345 days from that date that your birthday is coming up in 2017. So now you'll get another birthday card with a box of brownies, and you'll receive 2 birthday cards within 365 days, where most of your vendors or most of your relationships or most of your business partners have sent 0. So you can build an excellent birthday campaign just with the help of Facebook. What it does also in that respect, it creates the dialogue. I was teaching my agents this past month. We sent out a birthday campaign. I showed them that. Then I showed them a Valentine's Day campaign. Then they said, I wish you told me earlier, Jay. I said, why? They said, well, I would have done it. I'll have to wait till next year. I said, no, you don't. They said, explain. I said, sure. I said, most of the people that may or may not get the Valentine's Day card here in Massachusetts are up skiing or down in Florida because of school vacation week. So they don't know if they get the card on the 14th, the 15th, the 17th, the 18th. So just send it out. And they said, that's a good idea. I said, but why not just send a belated Valentine's Day card and say, this year I missed you, possibly on time, but I still was able to send out a belated Valentine's Day card, which separates you against your competition. They loved that idea. And I said, so what's coming up next? They said, I don't know, Jay. I said, St. Patrick's Day. So for my group, I had sent them out a St. Patrick's Day campaign, which they received today. Some received it the day before. They'll receive it tomorrow. And in the campaign, it's just saying, wishing you a happy St. Patrick's Day. When you get this card, please give me a call. That's called call to action that many realtors might know. So they started and they called me. Now I had a dialogue to explain to them and prove to them, this is how you can get your clients to pick up the phone and call you. And you can have that dialogue and then possibly segue into, by the way, I have no more listings. By the way, I just listed 63 more Stab and Dedham. If you know of someone who wants to get into that beautiful neighborhood, please have them give them a call. You have the dialogue. It turns a cold call into extreme warm or hot call because the building of the relationships, they got the card, their enjoyment of the card, and it makes it so much easier for that realtor or any profession to stay in touch with their sphere of influence. They're rainmakers. They're screaming, raving fans, and they don't have to go out and look for new business. Oh, it's amazing. And it's this the simplicity of getting the mind in the right space to then execute. So now we have Passover and Easter and Memorial Day and Mother's Day and saying, oh, it's easy for us, Michelle. We're just, givers. We love to share this information.
So, and I would say for all those busy realtors who are out there, you need to get a hold of me because I own a virtual assistant network. So I have people that can help you build your campaign. So little self promo there. Hey Jay, what about, I know we have some new features. So your cards might be in your handwriting. They might have pictures. They might have some custom brand. Can you show us any of your work?
Oh, absolutely. So, here's a great card. My friends, again, Mary and Terry, who are sitting here watching me with a couple of smiles, they invited me to a Red Sox game. Beautiful Red Sox against the Yankees. So I went to work and I said, glad to go with you. And guess who we see? We see Jeff Garland from Curb Your Enthusiasm. So Jay's a little shy, as you can tell. And I went right up to him and said, let's take a picture. You probably don't know who I am, but you will in the future. He started to laugh. And then inside is a beautiful picture of the folks that did take me to the game. Pretty cool. And so this is the back of the card. And this was a couple years ago, guys. Send-out cards listens to what the feedback is. So this is the front of my card, my campaign card, which I sent my friends who are sitting here with me, a beautiful calendar this past Christmas season. And I was able to brand the back of the card with the picture of my family.
Look at your beautiful daughter. Look at her and your beautiful wife.
Thank you. Thank you. And on the inside of the card, we also were able to use the SSO Photo Store so I could handwrite, which a lot of realtors don't understand, that you have options to go to the SSO Photo Store. You can back brand, you can leave it blank, you can send a bulk to yourself. It's just amazing that what we're doing catapults what other agents think that SOC was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. You have to go deep into the resources or the ability or talk to people like you or me to find out what's been updated. And, I'm just going to bring back this is the calendar that I sent out to my 200 top rainmakers. And in the calendar, as you know, I can make descriptive pictures that are most important to me so that throughout the year, there's something better than just a generic date and month.
That's so cool. So are the pictures of you and your referral partners and your clients?
You can do anything with it. So for instance, specific projects, I might send all to Boston. So I'm adding the Boston Marathon. I'm adding the Boston Red Sox home opener. Somebody else that I might send out to San Diego or Denver, Colorado. I might put something specific that is specific to them. I might even put next year's calendar, the reminder of Denver winning the Super Bowl. God, it's so easy.
Woo-hoo! Sorry, I had to do that.
That's good. Just Denver.
Hey, so that calendar had little dates on it, and so that's what you're talking about. You could add specific holidays or birthdays or things like that. Now, you definitely want to add the Super Bowl for the Broncos on there, and I know my whole room here is cheering for that. But that is a much different impact than the calendars that I've got that are stuck to magnets that I get from 10 different realtors. It's powerful.
What we talk about here at our office, and different speakers and trainers have said this, so I'm not taking credit and I'm not going to give credit because I think everybody has it. They're just not implementing. The acronym TOMATO, top of mind awareness through others. I did have a referral partner send me a generic calendar, and I used it in my last presentation in Houston. People loved it because I physically was able to show them that this is what I received from somebody that had the generic words at the bottom: time for a CMA, call your local real estate. Boom, you get it. I just threw it in the trash because I knew it was just pushed out in volume at a low price. With this particular piece, we're not asking people to send out calendars to people that don't know, trust, or like them, but you're asking yourself to send out to people that do know, trust, and like you, and they like turning the calendar month to see something new and fresh. While that's subliminally marketing you for $1.70 a month times 12, it's so short money of an investment that your referring business will be coming 12 months out of the year because you're keeping top of mind with a valuable piece. So again, Mary and Terry are getting some good PR right here.
Yeah, they are.
I came in not knowing that they were going to be showing me these cards and these calendars, because guess what, folks? They keep them. And that's what can happen to you.
So, so there are a couple ways that people can use the service. They can either be a customer or a distributor. Obviously, there's a lot of both. And why would a realtor want to even think about, maybe adding the income opportunity to it? And there's, of course, different levels of people who grow the business with us. You and I know that. But could you speak to that just a little bit?
Sure. It would take a few more minutes than just a couple of minutes. But
okay.
Think of this. This is the best way of looking at it, is that in my practice, when I show the importance of doing what I do, and if they can see what I see, I'm working with them. If they can't see what I see that's important, then I'm not going to work with that particular vendor. Now, the cool thing about it, as an example, you mentioned realtors. Realtors can showcase this to their title, to their mortgage professionals, to their home inspectors, to their photographers, to their electricians and plumbers, and say, I do a lot of hard work to get business to my team. And we do a lot of great work by referring our business to you folks. I believe you should have a send out card customer account or an opportunity account. But either way, if you don't have one, it does not feel like you're supporting me and my team and my team's business. So wrapping the mindset around it, and I always tell people, be careful of words and so forth. Some might say, that sounds like extortion, Jay. Really? If I'm dropping $3,000 to $10,000 worth of business to a plumber or electrician, or $300 to $700 to a plumber or a painter, and I say, if you have some problems with a $3 investment because my specific requirement, expectations are 2 cards. One to me to get in the practice of saying thank you, and it's the right thing to do. And the second one, to the most important person in the conversation, which is the buyer or the seller. If you can't see how important that is, I can't see working with you. And my staff and team love it. They're like, you really say that, Jay? I said, well, why not? Let me show you.